3D Spider Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi everyone! In today's video I'm going to be doing this adorable little spider that is on a nail, and he's sort of sitting up above the nail with his arms and legs coming around, and it goes with my other three-dimensional insects. This one's obviously not an insect, but my other ones are. I've got a beetle, a dragonfly, and a bumblebee, and so I'm also going to be doing one more, which is a butterfly that'll be coming up here soon. So it's going to be a 5-hand or a 5-finger set there of all the different kinds of three-dimensional insects. So this one's a spider, and it's a lot of fun. You can also see I'm going to be doing a cute, relatively easy spider that also is more of a 4D design in a couple days, and so you can check that one out too. That one's much cuter, less scary, and I hope you like them both, and don't forget to click subscribe to see my future videos as well.
So the first thing I want to do is create my overlay with this bright pumpkin orange acrylic, and I'm just going to start and drag that down and create my stiletto nail shape. Fun fact, this is actually the very first color of acrylic colored acrylic that I bought, and it was very exciting. I was really wanting to make little three-dimensional pumpkins, which were very, very simplistic at the time, but I got this orange, and it was, like I said, it was very exciting. But yeah, just a little weird piece of trivia there. And now I'm going to be adding a layer of clear acrylic. This is going to really give you strength, which, especially with a stiletto, you definitely want it to be nice and strong so that you don't break off the tip. That wouldn't be fun. Add that on there. It could still stay pretty thin. And now I'm going to be filing it with a 180 grit file to remove any lumps, bumps, or imperfections. And then I'm going to switch off to a 240 grit padded buffer, and I'm going to be buffing it to remove any scratches that first file may have left behind. So now with white paint, I'm going to be painting my spider web. But to do this, I'm just going to first start out with a line going across the nail, and then add all kinds of other lines spiraling out from the middle. Not really spiraling at all, they're just coming out from the middle. But then I'm going to connect each of those other lines with a series of loops. So these middle lines that go between the first lines we made are not straight. You want them to have a slight curve, and the curve should be, the center of the line should pull towards the center of the web, if that makes sense. I hope it does. You don't want them to be concave, not convex. And then I'm going to be adding a layer of gel sealer and throwing that into a lamp and curing it. And now on a nail form backing is where I'm going to be making my spider. So I'm going to start with his body, and his I can't think of the word, his butt is kind of comes to a little bit of a point, and then you're going to make his head and add his little bits of fangs. And I'm going to be adding another layer over him with some more black acrylic just to give it some thickness. That first layer, especially on a nail form backing, it's so very thin that it really does need a couple layers to add any kind of strength. And I know people ask me all the time what kind of paper it is that I'm sculpting these on. It is the sticker backing from a nail form. So the forms that you would use to build a length on your nail, that is the exact same thing. Just I keep all the paper backing that they come on, and then you can sculpt on that. It's sort of like a wax paper or sticky paper. And now I'm missing this part. I just cut off a whole bunch of pieces of thread, 8 of them to be exact, and then I'm going to tie 2 knots in each piece of thread. On my nail, I'm going to add a little platform, so I'm going to take a bead of clear acrylic, and I'm just going to be building up just a little spacer, basically. So just something to make it so that the spider's body isn't resting directly on the nail. After that's set, that little bit of acrylic spacer, I'm going to glue all of his legs onto the very end of it. So I'm just going to put down some nail glue and then pick up the legs one by one with tweezers and place them on there. And these legs are they kind of have a mind of their own. They don't necessarily want to stay there, so you just have to make sure that your fingers are in place to hold them for a second if you need to. And try not to glue your tweezers to the nail. That happens all the time. I glue things together. It's that I'm not intending to. It's quite the issue. I've caused all sorts of problems. It's so bad that as a joke, my family always gives me the biggest, or tries to give me the biggest container of super glue for Christmas and my birthday and stuff. They think it's hilarious. But then after you got all the legs in place, add some more clear acrylic on top of them, and then attach your spider's body. Hold that in place for a second, and then you should be good to go. You can trim your spider's legs if you need to. They probably aren't the right length, so just take a little scissors and trim them down a little bit. And then with more of my favorite nail glue, just glue his legs in place. I don't know what the deal is. Whenever I need to glue something together, the glue doesn't dry. And whenever I don't need to glue something together, like my hand to my head, it dries instantly, and then I'm stuck. This is one of those cases where I was having issues with the glue setting at all, and it just did not want to, and it was being quite the pain. I'm sure that everyone else in the universe would not have as much difficulty as I do with this, so don't be discouraged by my glue woes. It's most likely not gonna happen for you. But just glue all of his legs in place. Make sure that you hold them there until they're dry so they don't come popping off later. And the ones in the back, especially if you put the spider himself where I did, they're probably gonna have to be quite a bit shorter than the others. I know his farthest two legs only have one joint. I ended up having to cut off the second one and a lot of his legs just because they're so long. It doesn't show up as being weird at all in the final design. It just looks like he's ready to pounce or like he's squatting or something. Can a spider squat? I think a spider can squat. Now I'm going to be taking red paint and I'm going to be painting just a little design, a little pattern on his back, and then I'm going to be adding his 4 eyes and then applying a layer of gel sealer on top of my spider. And then also on his legs, and when you put it on the legs, make sure that you apply it very thin because you don't want it to weight down the thread and collapse his legs. And you're all set. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this design, and check out the rest of my 3-dimensional insects. They're pretty cool, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!